This conference will now be recorded.
So in the last class, we're looking into your creation of a virtual machine, and we are in between. So let me go ahead and let me try to access your account one more time. My user ID, my password. Oh, one second. Yeah, and now let's jump into your creation of your virtual machine. So in the last class, I have created my resource group separately, right? So I created my resource group within my resource group icon in here and have used that particular resource group within your virtual machine. But today I will not go and create in here. Let me go and try to create my resource group within my virtual machine here. So click on your virtual machine, click on your create virtual machine again. So it will navigate to my web page. I mean the page where you have to provide your details in here. So now as usual, it's a subscription you have in here for resource group. I don't find anything from here because there's no list available within my resource group icon over there. So what I'll do, I'll try to create from here itself. So just click on create new. So what you have to do is like you have to provide the name of the resource group what you want to create. So let's go ahead and try to provide the same kind of my institute name and the the extension like -rg in here. So click on OK. So once you click on OK, this is the new one which will be created. It's not yet created, which will be created. So before creating your actual virtual machine, the first thing is like it should have your resource group created first, and then you'll try to start creating your virtual machine in here. So, but we know that when you're trying to create any resource group, in which location you want to create a resource group in here. Okay, so we clearly know, we already understood that the location of your resource group and the location of your instance what you're trying to create should be in the same location. For that reason being, but here you're trying to create from my virtual machine level, so you have to use the same region what you have in the instant details in here, where this region is applicable for now both my virtual machine as well as to create my new resource group as well. Okay, so go ahead and try to choose my East US in here, so that my resource group will be created in East US. Similarly, my virtual machine will be created in my East US in here, so both will be available in the same region. So now here I am trying to provide now Windows-VM in here. So just a name I provided for my virtual machine. So here I'll try to choose my Windows 10. This is my operating system where I want to go and use to create my virtual machine here. And sizes. So here we spoke about the sizes yesterday, and we saw a lot many things. Based upon the configuration what you have, your price will be. You have to pay the particular price to your cloud engineer. So you can see, the RAM you have in here, and you can see virtual CPUs is something like, your processors, what you have, and you can see something like IOPS. So what is this one? So let me go with small diagram in here. So IOPS is nothing but, it's the operations per second. For example, you have a YouTube. So in YouTube, suppose you opened your YouTube and what you did, you clicked on one of the video. I want to watch that video, you clicked on it. So what will happen now? It will go to my back end. It'll say, okay, this is what the user want to see. So it sends it pulls the video out and it starts playing for you. So that is what one request and one response what you got in here. So this is the user I'm having in here, and this is my front end page. I would say front end page in here. So now what I have done, I have requested something. Okay, this is what I want to go, and could you please play this for me? So what front end will do, will go to my back end here and or to my database, I would say. Anyway, what is the back end in here, and it will try to get the push my request what you have from the user to my back end. So this is what, this is my request getting from my user and pushing the request to my backend in here. So what backend will do, it'll try to check for the video what it has, and it'll try to send that back to my front end so that your user can go ahead and like he can enjoy the the video. So it's a response what we got out of a backend in here. So this is what this is all about, like one request to my backend and one response back to my front end again. So now the IOPS in here is nothing but the input operations per second, how many kind of request my database or my backend can handle at one point of time. So it's purely the based upon the capacity of your the application you have in here. So if you're trying to suppose if I say okay, I'm trying to go with around like a 160 for example. So 160 means 160 operations or 160 requests can be handled per second by my backend. So it can handle these many requests at particular moment of time, and I can I can prompt immediately regarding my the things. This is okay, I can handle 160 requests at one point of time. I can push the responses back at the same time again to my front end, so that those many number of users are been using or can be they can view the videos or whatever they want in here. So this is the number. The number based upon this number, the number of things can be handled in the back end. For example, you have 12,800. Yes, you have all those things as well. So it's a very huge number. So if you want, the people like Netflix or people using Netflix or people using a YouTube mainly. So how many multiple people will be using, millions of millions of customers will be using a YouTube at single point of time. So if you handle these many people request, if you want to push all this response back to my front screens to the users to make your customer happy, so my application should be in such a way that it can handle all this request and it can push all the response back again same time again. So I don't want anybody, my customer, to be impacted. If any customer click on a video and keep on waiting and keep on streaming, the circle is rotating over since 5 minutes back, and I haven't seen my videos getting played in here. So if it's happening in such a case, then your customer will not be happy. So he will not come to your site anymore, because it says that particular server is every time down. So the application will not respond immediately. So it's not friendly. So don't go with that particular site. Try to choose some other things which acting very quickly. So that's how it happens. So I don't want the customer to be impacted. So what you, based upon your requirement, based upon number of users you may get as requests to your application, for all those things, what you have to do, even your IOPS plays a vital role in here. So because what is the number they provide in here, those many operations per second can be handled in here by your backend. So the same thing here you can find. See, I can see something like my 160. So when the number of operations is very slow and very low, because even the RAM is very low in here, just a 500 MB, 0.5 GB in here. So 0.5 GB, it maintains mostly not more than 160. So since it's very low in here, obviously the price also very low. But when you're trying to go with, see here, 6,400, 1,280, I can see 12,800 as well. So if you're trying to go more IOPS, more RAM, obviously my RAM will be increased, everything will be increased. When the processor will be increased in here. When you're trying to go with more things in here, your price also will be, it will be increased like anything. So when you want to have more performance, more things for you, automatically your price also will be more. So make sure, guys, based upon your requirement, what you have to choose. So if it's mandatory, then it's okay, but unnecessarily do not choose the configuration which is not really required for your things in here. Of course, this may really attract 32 GB of RAM, your 12,800 IOPS, it was vCPUs really attracts you, but what about my price as well? So you have to take care of your price as well. So try to go balanced mode based upon the requirement what you go in here. But of course, within your real-time environment, they will clearly mention you what kind of size we have to choose with respect to my virtual machine if you are trying to create in there. Okay, so currently I'm trying to go with the minimum one with 4 GB of RAM, 1280 IOPS, and 2V CPUs, all this. So it may cost you around like 2,187 rupees per month. So this may cost me around like 3 rupees, around like 2 rupees 99 paise per hour. I'll show you that towards the last of the creating of my virtual machine here. Okay, so click on select. So this is the price I'm getting by using my 2V CPUs and 4 GB of RAM in here. So next we have in here administration account. So this particular part, so when you're trying to create your virtual machine, suppose I have created my virtual machine successfully, very good. And I have allocated this particular virtual machine to some of my employee to work for the clientele in here because it's Windows. So how the other person will access your virtual machine here? So there should be some user ID and password for sure. So without a credentials, how can your virtual machine can be accessed? It's never. For that reason, me. So this is like administration account where you have to provide your user ID, your password, you confirm your password, all those things, so that using the same the kind of credentials you'll be accessing your Windows virtual machine in here. So let me try to provide in here something like VRIT admin. I'm trying to go with my admin name with my institute name, tagging to my institute name in here, VRIT admin in here. And so here again, so I'm trying to provide, see the small username cannot contain any special characters. Any special characters not allowed in here, or and with dot in or something like this in here. So all these things are not allowed. So it should be value between 1 and the maximum value should be 20 in here. So username must not include any reserved words. Yes, it's normal like Windows, all those things. It's reserved words, right? So we should not put all those things in here. So by default, you'll be having your user ID, which will be provided by your client or provided by your admin in here. So I'm trying to prove with my simple VRIT admin is my user ID in here. Similarly, coming to my password in here. So here it should be minimum 12 characters long and 123 characters maximum you can go with in here. And it's always better to go with a secure mode like having one uppercase, one lowercase, like one special characters, one number. So that is a secure, that is very strong password you're trying to provide in here. But it's not really important to have. So you can see now when I try to click on this one in here, so it must have three things to following: one lowercase, one uppercase, one number, and one special character. So I just mentioned one character and I just keep on typing like this. I just hold it so that it can throw my error. So this is what you have to go with: one lower, one upper, one number at least, and one special character. So this makes our password very strong in here. Okay, so now I'm trying to go with capital V, one capital letter RIT, admin, one small, all small letters, at the rate of one special character, and my number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, because I would like to have minimum of 12 characters long in here. So similarly capital VRIT, admin, at the rate of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 in here. So I have, this is the kind of user ID and password you have to provide. So this helps us to what? To access your system, to access your virtual machine once created. Okay, so that's about your administration account in here. Second thing you have, like other thing you have inbound portals. So what are these? So in generally, for everything you will be have a kind of firewalls in between. Something like instead of saying firewalls, I would like to go with generic word. It's like security guard sitting in front of you to make sure everything is good to allow you inside. Something like you go into a movie. Now what you do, like without having a ticket, he will not allow inside your theater, right? So security guard makes sure that you have a correct ticket. Suppose you purchase like like a 100 rupees ticket and you're trying to enter into or some 250 rupees ticket category. So it's wrong, it's not correct. Even though you have a ticket with you, but you should not be sitting in your 250 rupees ticket category, because you are
I stuck somewhere. Am I the only who can't hear?
Hello.
We can hear it,
We can
Sham.
hear some voice.
Looks like Sham, just a second.
Oh, who is not able to hear? Oh, Sachin. Okay. Okay, so this is like, based upon the category, based upon the security levels will be there in between, so that they'll make sure everything is going in smooth manner. So based upon the things there. So similarly here as well, when the people are able to, accessing my website, for example, you have YouTube. So who can access my website? So do we have any rules for that? So what are the inbound? Inbound means which is being getting inside. Outbound, which is getting out of that application, the response which you got out of the application here. So inbound means who can access your application, who can do the things in here. So in generally, we have main thing, something like, HTTP, one kind of port we have. Second thing we have, HTTPS. This is the inbound,
Okay.
unbound, inbound port in here. Yeah.
Sachin, I'm so sorry. Can you just take it? I mean, revise it, rewind 10 minutes, 10 seconds back what it said about ports, because there was an issue with my PC.
I'm just started with the port, Sachin. I did not start anything. Okay. So what I'm saying is like, so when you're trying to access any application, for every application there are some kind of security kind of things in between the end user and between the starting of application. In between there will be a security. So what is that security? Is something like, which ports you can access your application here, which ports cannot access your application. So what are these ports? Ports are nothing but this is like a gateway to to access my application, to enjoy my application in here. So if your policies as per the security, if your what the port you're trying to access is correct, then only they'll allow you to get the things back, access my things in here. So what are ports we have in general? So what are the things we have in here? What are the security rules we have in here? I'm talking about that particular part as of now. So in generally, we have HTTP port, we have HTTPS port, we have, like kind of your SSH port, and we also have, like kind of a RDP port. So these are different kind of ports you have in your HTTP port, or also called as, AT port. So generally, I will be calling as AT port in here. So see here. So whatever the, you try to mention, will be coming up with some kind of HTTPS for sure. So this is nothing but it's like kind of inbound port rule where your portal has mentioned. So if you're coming from this HTTP port, yes, I will allow my port to access my portal in here. Similarly, I'm trying to go with my YouTube. For example, see here, HTTPS. For each and everything, you can see this by default, because without your HTTP, or without having anything else, I can't go with my things in here. Suppose my Amazon Prime. So even this one, see, HTTPS. For every website, everything what you go, you will be having your HTTPS for sure in here. HTTP or HTTPS. These are two different things you have in here. So both are, used for your public usage. So the other one, it's a 443 in here. So either you can say HTTP or AT port, or you can say HTTPS or 443 port. So both of these two purely for my public usage. So by default, this particular port will be coming into picture when you're trying to access any website, and yes, you will be having the permissions for that. So how can you know that? Go to the control panel, open your control panel in here. You can see my internet options. Click on my internet options in here, and you can see the connections. Click on your LAN settings. You can see port 80. So right from 80, it's starting from 80, it moves forward. So right from 80 port, or you can go 81, 82, whatever you have, it right from start from 80 in here. So 80 is the base port in here. Okay, so since you have mentioned this particular part in here, you will be able to consider, or you'll be getting access for your things for your respective website. And even the website is clearly saying that if your people are coming from 80 port or 8443 port, then only I will access you to, and then only I'll be providing you the access to see my website or to enjoy my videos what you have in the website in here. So these two are nothing but my basic port by default you'll be getting for everybody. For that reason being, you can see wherever you go, you can see HTTP or HTTPS for sure in here. So what are these are? These are inbound port rules, which has been kept by a respective application what you're running in your website in here. Okay, so by default is a kind of a generic usage, and by default you'll be getting this part in here. So okay, fine. So let me close this all. Okay, fine. So when compared to my diagram in here, so I'm a general public, so I'll be coming from either HTTP or 80 port, or HTTPS or 443 port. So apart from these two ports, I will be not having any access to any other port in here. So even though you try to come in here, your application will stop saying that boss, you're coming from some other port which is not in my list. So please go ahead, and I'll try to simply say the site can't be reached. That's it. So who is trying to monitor all those things in here? There should be someone who have to see from which port you're coming in here from. So that is nothing but called as network security group. So this is your kind of firewall who's sitting in middle of my the user and my application in here. So this one, what it will do, this is nothing but my NSG, network security group. So this contains the list of ports which used to be access my application here. So now when the people are coming from HTTPS, okay, it's 443, yeah, it's in my list, go ahead and use my application. You're coming from 80 port, yes, that's in my list, you go ahead and use my application here. So that's how it happens, guys. So but these people can only enjoy the content of the application, only see the video in the YouTube. But can you go ahead and delete the video of anybody else in here? Can you go ahead and can you delete your edit the video of anybody other account? We can't do that because we are just public access. We are just a public, and we're able to see what we have in the particular application. That's it, up to that level only. So you can't have access to my internal things within an application. So I can't access, I can't delete my videos or any other videos. I cannot edit any other videos in here because I don't have all those permissions in here. It's been restricted for me. But just in case, sometimes YouTube people, what they do, if your content what you uploaded is not proper, it's inappropriate, in that scenario what YouTube will do, it will try to delete the video immediately, saying that it's illegal or something like that. So we have such kind of cases as well in YouTube level. So it's not like whatever you upload that will be accepted by YouTube. If that is something going wrong, something or something you have used some content within your video which has been copied from some other people, so the other people may claim case on you, or they may they put some case on you saying that you copied the things from us, so you have to charge, you have to pay for us. So if you're not paying, then we are going to delete your video within your YouTube. So something like that. I'm not exactly I'm talking the process about, there's something like that. So in such scenarios, who will be having access to delete? Only your YouTube people. YouTube people means the authorized people who can access the content of your application here. So who can access the content? That's it. But your developers, your admins, all those people who are there, they can access your content of your application here. But even those people should go through my NSG security for sure. Even these people should pass through my security, then only they can go ahead access the content in here. Because who knows, are you a public or are you authorized people in here? I don't know. So for that reason being, So as you have 80 port and 443 port for your public usage, similarly for these people, you'll be having other ports, like if you're trying to use from your Windows system, then it's called as, RDP, and the port number will be around like 3389 port. Similarly, if you're trying to come from your Linux system, that means it's called as a SSH. The Linux virtual machine system will be the port number. The port is called as SSH in here. And the port number will be 22 in here. So these two things, these two ports, if you're trying to access using your either RDP or using SSH, that means you are a admin or a developer, whoever it is, but you belongs to the internet. You are authorized member to access the content of the application in here. So the thing in here is like here, along with my 80 port or 443 port, so here there'll be millions of customers using my application. So I can energy will only check whether you're coming from 80 port or 443 port. That's it. It never checks any IP addresses from where you're trying to access to my application, because there are millions of customers in here. But coming to my authorized peoples, how many will be there? Mostly 5 people or 6 people, because one, like one developer, two developers, or one admin, something like that. So not more than 10 people mostly. So what the reason being, what your energy will do, along with your port number, I have also checked your IP addresses from where you're trying to access it. Okay, so generally as of now, people like everybody are working from home. In my company, all of a sudden what happened, one case. So as of now I'm in Hyderabad. Okay, so what happened, like I traveled to my hometown all of a sudden. So I took my laptop, my company laptop and everything, and I went to my hometown so that I could work from there. And but all of a sudden what happened, my access gone. So I was worried about that, and I went to my admin and my company, all those people, and they finally found that since my IP address got changed, and it's also that IP address showing something like something out of India, which is not correct. So for that reason being, your account has been disabled. See, the IP address plays so vital role in here. So when I'm in Hyderabad, you based upon the internet, one IP address will be coming in here. When I'm in my hometown, the some IP address will be changed for sure. But unfortunate, even that should be allowed for me because I'm still in India. But unfortunately, it's showing some IP address which is out of India. I don't know how it happened actually. So my account got disabled because there's a security they're trying to provide in here. So similarly here as well, along with my port, what you're trying to access my front end, my application, they'll also check my IP address as well. So everything is going good, then only you'll be provided the access to check, you go ahead and do whatever you want with the content within your application level in here. So all these are what your inbound port rules. Inbound means what are the ports which are helping us to access your application in here. That is the meaning of your inbound port rules in here. And even in here within my backend, my database, suppose you are trying to go with your Oracle database, for example. So what is the port number for Oracle database? So it's something it's like around 1521. So similarly, with respect to your Teradata database, you'll be having one more port in here. For your other databases, you'll be having different ports in here. Why all those things in here? Because these are nothing but my inbound port rules for respect to my databases in here. So if you're trying to install your Oracle database, you should mention for sure. Or if you're trying to access your Oracle database, you have to mention for sure it's a 1521 port. If you're trying to mention some other port number, then you will not be provide access to my database for sure, because this is my security rule they have provided. So all these are nothing but my inbound port rules in here. Similarly here as well, they're trying to ask you from which port you want to access your virtual machine. So if I click on this one, see by default I can see my 33894 because it's a remote desktop, means it's a Windows virtual machine in here. So if you want to go and access using your IP address, you want to access using your Linux system, enable this. So for general public, enable these two for sure, because if you do not enable this one, then my general public may not access my things in here. Okay, so I'm trying to allow all the ports for public as well as my authorized users to go ahead and access my virtual machine in here. But of course, internally they have specific rules again. For HTTP and HTTPS only up to content level, where SSH or RDP for internal to my content level as well. Okay, so this is your inbound, public inbound port rules. So for public, you can choose, only HTTP, or if I'm by default, I'm enabling all for now so that I can access my virtual machine perfectly. So this is about my ports, what we have. Yeah.
Sometimes we will be modifying default ports also, right? So is it possible here? Means HTTP 80 and HTTPS 443. So at organize when we go for enterprise, so they might be changing for their enterprise security standards, right? So incoming ports and all this is a cloud, right? So cloud to access or to come back to their network. So there will be some changes because I don't know. Just I'm asking. So will it be possible or default we have to use every time same thing, whatever Azure has given?
Yeah, see, the things, how they want to, some applications will be to internal to your organization. Some application will be, for public. So based upon the things, if it's only to internal, then don't allow this one. So even though somehow some person got the URL or IP address of your virtual machine, they will not be allowed because this has been disabled. So based upon the scenarios, based upon things, you can go ahead and you can, do the things in here. Okay.
Sure, Sachin here. Can I ask two questions?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. One question. Do you know 4096 port? If you know, why we use? And while deploying the environment, sometimes we have to, close the, open the port, and after the deployment, you have to close it. Why we do this?
4092 port, I have been gone through that particular earlier. So generally,
Okay.
with respect to deployment, ports will not play into picture in here. Why? Because in generally, as per the DevOps in here, we do not, use virtual machine directly for deploying things in here, but we use web application to deploy your application. And web application creates your virtual machine internally and it's maintained by your Azure directly. So we do not touch with respect to port level when you're trying to deploy my things within your Azure level, Azure DevOps. Okay, 4092, right? Let me check that earlier, but I haven't gone through all that.
4096.
40996.
96.
Okay, I'll check that one. Okay, anyway, these are the inbound ports we have in here, and this is like, just for confirming. This is your with respect to your virtual machines. You have to confirm this particular part in here. So next, disk. So till now, what you have mentioned is like, you have provided your administration account like user ID, password to access, and you mentioned your image, the what kind of operating system you want to go with, and you mentioned your inbound port rules, you mentioned your sizes, everything. So basic page, what you have in here, it contains all your main important points to have your virtual machine created. So where it may keep changes based upon the new virtual machines when you're trying to create. So coming from here, your disk, your networking, your management, all those things, they will be having by default in here. But if you want, you can make a change. So the first thing is like, operating disk type. So whenever you talk about your RAM, when you talk about your processor, you will be also talking about the disk, right? What kind of disk do you want? So generally we do have two types of disk in here. So one is like, called as HDD, and second thing we have, SSD. HDD means, anybody? What do you mean by HDD? Have you heard about such kind of terminology earlier, guys? The type of, the disk,
Yeah, we heard, but forgot the
hard
full
disk.
forms. Yeah, I heard this.
Yeah. Okay.
Hard
It's
disk
a
drive.
Two
hard,
different types of
Hard
hard
disk
disks.
drive.
right. What about the second one? Solid state drive in here. So this is the new technology what currently going in the market. So this is a very old one which you have earlier. So if you go back, let me show the images in here. So HDD, images, something like this. See, this is the one very older versions. Nowadays, you don't see these things coming up in any laptop even. Very few laptops may having HDD. So this like if you don't want to, the budget will be little bit low in here. So this is your it's a big kind of box kind of stuff where your hard disk, this kind of hard disk where you try to store all your data in here. It's a HDD. But coming to my SSD, solid state drive, sorry, yeah, SSD images in here. So simple. It became very simple, and I'll show you one small thing in here. So this is also one of the kind where it became very small, very thin, very slim in here, and also you have such kind of images. So yeah, so see here, this is this particular chip you see, the chip what you have. The back one is one kind of your SSD. There's one kind. The most again more very simpler, very advanced, sophisticated technology level. You can see this on the top. You can see here. So this is the one. It's a simple kind of a chip, simple chip where this is around like 2 TB, 1 TB, 3 TB, whatever it is, it can store in this particular hard drive in here. So very simple, and it's a very thin chip you have in here. So this is called your SSD, solid state drive, where the performance, see it's how much, 512 GB. So within the small chip, 512 GB can be saved. So much data can be saved in here. Okay, so things became very smart. Things became very, very small, very tiny in here compared to earlier cases. So when you're trying to go with your HDD or the things will, you can see both the things in here, standard HDD or standard SSD or premium SSD. So see here, standard HDD be best for backup only, just for archiving purpose, mostly non-critical and infrequent access. So there, if you're not trying to access your hard disk frequently, then you can go use this one, because the performance will be not that much good. It's a very old system you have in here. But coming to my as a SSD, the performance is very high. The performance is very good. So premium, best for production, and performance is for sensitive loads. Sensitive loads means very critical loads, all those things in here. So best for production. So SSD, the performance will be very high in here. So you have to choose this for production environment, and you can first stand from a dev environment, maybe a little bit down compared to my premium and standard. Within the same category, I'm gonna have premium and standard in here. Okay, you can choose premium for now, not a problem in here. And other things you have, encryption tab, all the things not really required. So the main point in here is like my disk options we have to choose. Next is my networking. So when you trying to create any virtual machine or any laptop, or when you have any machine with you, for sure you'll be having IP address for that, because that is how it has been identified when you're trying to connect to your internet, right? So you can see my IP address. For example, if you go and check it out, my IP address in here, my IP address, I can see my IP address in here. So this is my IP address in here. So this is my unique identity to connect my system, or to look into my system things in here. Similarly, for here, this is you're trying to create your virtual machine in here. So this machine also, when you're trying to access your things within your system, your internet, even this should have its own IP address in here. So own network in here. So everything for now, I'm trying to take the things by default. See here, you can see virtual network is coming based upon the name of your resource group. You can see subnet, you can see a public IP. See, you can see network security group, NSG, what we spoke earlier. So public inbound ports, yes, allow all the ports. So this is like a kind of, the IP addresses will be provided or will be created or be managed by my Azure for now. But yes, we do have a separate class to understand what do you mean by virtual network, how can you create your virtual network, what do you mean by subnet, how can you provide your own configured virtual network, our own configure subnet in here. But for now, let it go by default. Let me go. Let it maintain by my Azure only. I'm not touching any of the points what you have in here. What are the things we have? Everything let it go. But after 3 to 4 classes, I'll come back. We'll try to create a new virtual network and we'll try to create a new virtual machine. But at that time, I will try to choose my own configured virtual network, my own configured subnet in here. So I'll try to see that after 2 to 3 classes. Okay, but for now, let it go by default, which is what you have in here. So next is management. Yes, this is like, the storage account, what you need at the back end. So to store the things in here. So again, for this as well, we have a separate class to create a storage account. So what is storage account? If you see, if I try to say, okay, I want to create my own things in here, click on create new. So it'll open up a page saying that, okay, what kind it is, performance, standard premium, replication, locally, geo, redundant, zero redundant. So we have a lot many things in here. So what is LRS, what is GRS? We also have ZZRS, we also have ZZRS. We have 2 more else, so it's not showing up in here. So what are all these things in here? So we have a separate class to create a storage account in here, and later if you want you can tag in here, but for now I would like to recommend, this is recommended, I would like to manage by my own Azure itself. So both of the things what you have in here, your networking or your management, these two will come back again after creating your required stuff, storage account and my virtual network. We'll see that back again in here. Okay, so next is advanced. It's like, extensions, not so important. Tags, it's something, if you're like to provide information regarding your virtual machine. Just for example, okay, this is the environment I would like to create for my, this is for my dev environment in here. Okay, my location I'm trying to create, in my East US. So up to 12, you can add on the things in here. All this for what? Information purpose. So this will try to show up after creating your virtual machine in here. Just information purpose what you have in here. And finally, review plus create. So this will try to review all the options what you have till now. So what are things you mentioned, your virtual name, your the images, your sizes, your administration account, your licensing, enabling your account, enabling the access for licensing, the virtual network, the storage account, what you have, everything by default it'll try to go ahead, and finally it says that validation is passed. If any one of the option is not correct, or if you forgot something, then automatically throw an error saying that something missed in here. So please go ahead and check it out. For example, I'm going back in here basic. I remove this particular part in here. Now I'm trying to say review plus create. Now it fails. Required information missing is not valid, and it is showing you some red mark in here. This is some issue with my basic page in here. So if you try to check it out, yeah, this is missing in here. Now review plus create. Now it should be fine with us. Yeah, validation passed, and now it's clearly showing me how much I may be charged per hour in Indian rupees, INR. The people who are in Singapore or with respect to USA, it may be showing in those respective region, the currency what they have over there. So it's just trying to, how much? It's 2 rupees 99 paise. It's almost 3 rupees Indian rupees per hour in here. So as I'm good with this one, go ahead and click on create. So this this will trying to help us to submit your deployment and trying to create the virtual machine based upon the configuration what you chose within my cloud level in here. So it start deploying. What it'll do, it'll start creating your IP addresses, it'll start creating your network security groups, it start creating your network interfaces, all those things, storage accounts, one by one quickly and here. So once it completes your deployment, then it will go ahead and you can access your virtual machine in here. See, it start creating a public IP address for your Windows machine, your network security group, which is very, very important to make sure who are coming and who are accessing my things in here. Your virtual networks, which is which belongs to your IP addresses, all those things in here. Your interfaces. So all these things are what? Each and everything is a separate kind of resources which have been created to complete my total virtual machine. So all these are nothing but, it's like kind of things which have been supporting for my have my smooth operation within my Windows virtual machine in here. So this once this particular Windows virtual machine is created successfully, then you can go ahead and you can operate the things in here. Okay. So in generally, when you're trying to use a Windows virtual machine, the people who are using your Windows VDI, they may go within your command prompt, within search bar, they may search for RDP in here. So when you click on RDP, you can see something like remote desktop connection. So what is the public IP address you got in here? You can paste it in here. You can say connect, and you should be able to connect your Windows machine successfully. So this is the one of the method you may see. So some other method you have, you can see once your deployment part is done. So you can see, you can download your, the RDP file, and you can use that RDP file to access your Windows virtual machine again. So I'll show in both the other cases once your deployment part is done in here. So let's wait for deployment. So sometimes, it quickly does the things in there. Sometimes it may take a little bit time. The only difference between these two is why? Because the internet, the speed of the internet you have. So if the network is a little bit down, then it may take a little bit time to complete the deployment process. If it is very up and running quickly, then it may complete it, within 1 minute of time also it will be complete. Even we have scenarios for that.
Shyam, Chandra here.
Yeah, Chandra.
Hello.
Yes.
In real time, in most of the cases, that we will not enable public IP, right, due to security issues.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It's purely based on the application what you're trying to create, what kind of application you're trying to deploy in this particular virtual machine here. If it is internal one, then don't do it. If it's a public access, for YouTube is there. It's for purely for public. If you do not enable your HTTP or HTTP port, then what is the use of having your YouTube in here, right? So
Yes.
based on the scenarios.
Yeah. Okay.
It's taking a long time today. Let it happen. So meanwhile, I'll go back here and I'll go to my virtual machine icon. So it's trying to create now. So what I'll do, I'll go ahead and I'll do the same thing with respect to my Linux system. So see, my public IP address has been created successfully in here, and looking good, but still in progress. It has to complete in here. It should say that it's been deployment successful, and you can go to the resource so that you can see all the things what you have in the particular virtual machine. Yeah, it's done. Very good. So now you can either create another virtual machine or you can say go to resource. So within my resource, you can see, like I can see my resource group name. I can have a subscription in here. So somebody asked me, can we change your subscription of time? Can we change your resource group? I think Buddha sir. Do we have? I don't think he came up here today. Okay, anyway. So now when you click on move, yeah. Is anybody talking? Want to say something? Okay. So let's see this about later on then. So we have, the public IP address got created in here. We have your private IP address got in here, and the name of your virtual machine you have in here. So whatever whatever the things you chose, the size, the vCPUs, the RAM. So it will be showing you all the things. So what of the operating system disk you chose in here. So based upon the spot instance, nothing. So nothing has been chosen. So based upon what you have, you can see all those things coming up in here. So this is my, public IP address. So you can go and connect using for example, connect. So before going to this connecting option in here, I would like to show you something what you have in here. So you can see start. option, you can see restart option, you can see stop option, you can see delete option. Okay, and see, since it's already started running, see, you can see the status running in it. For that reason being, this particular part, is disabled in here. But if you want, you can stop your virtual machine. Stopping in the sense, I want to hold my virtual machine. I don't want my virtual machine to run in here. So let me click on stop in here. So when it says stop in here, it's saying that your public IP address will be lost if this VM is stopped. That means, within your Azure level, many people will be working in multiple virtual machines. So there'll be like millions of IP addresses will be having along with respect to your Azure in here. So it cannot, what it says that I cannot, reserve your public IP address for your respective virtual machine in here if you simply stop it. So when you when you stop it in here, when you try to restart it, a new public IP address will be coming up for me. For example, let me try to copy this one and try to place it here. This is my current IP address what I have in here. So now what I'm trying to do, go ahead and stop it. Stopping my virtual machine. So now this is why this is stopping my virtual machine. Now this particular state is what you see, that we're seeing like it's a deallocated or stopped. So let me refresh my page. So it's deallocating now. So finally it will be stopped after some time. So I think no things. So I think it's stopped. Yeah, it is stopped. No, it's not stopped yet because I don't see my start button enabled. So if it's totally stopped, you should see your start button enabled in here. So let's go home. Let me open my virtual machines again one more time. So it's been deallocating still. So it has to say deallocated or stop. Yeah, now it's been stopped. So if you go back into my virtual machine, I can see my start button got enabled now. See, so stopping in the sense is, it's your virtual machine is still there within my Windows system. For that reason being, I'm able to see this particular entry in here. So if you want, you can go ahead and you can delete your virtual machine again. Deleting means, that will be totally removed from your cloud. So delete is different and stop is different. I believe we have already discussed on this earlier. So stopping in the sense means, even though it's been deallocated, it's been stopped in here, still you have your VM available within your cloud in here. Delete means totally removing the things in here. You're not consuming any space within your cloud level in here. When you say delete, since you don't have anything in here, you're not consuming any space within your cloud level, so you have nothing to pay. But when I say stop in here, even though it's been stopped and still I can see this entry available within my cloud level, that means you're trying to utilize, you're trying to consume the space in my cloud level for a stopped version machine. Since you're trying to consume the space, you have to pay. Okay, that's the difference between stop and delete. So now I have stopped it. Now I'm trying to restart it again. I'm clicking on start button. So starting my virtual machine. So when it's starting my virtual machine, now you should see a different IP address in here. Suppose, but we also have an option. Do you want to store this your current IP address? If you want, yes, we can do that as well. It's not like every time, every time when you're trying to stop and start, if you're trying to get new IP addresses, then it's not quite good for us. So because it should always be good only if you have one IP address, and based upon that you can access your virtual machine here. So if you want to reserve this IP address, okay, even though I stop and restart, I should not see my IP address change. Yes, we do have option for that as well. But if you enable it, then what Azure will do is like this particular IP address will be reserved for your specific Windows virtual machine only, and it never been allocated to any other virtual machine for sure. It never been allocated to any other things. Since it's been reserved for your respective virtual machine, please pay. So whatever you do in here, any small extra things, you have to pay that for sure, because this IP address has been exclusively reserved for your things. So I'm not providing this to anybody else because it's been already tagged to your virtual machine here. So if you want to do that, please pay. For that reason being, I do not want to store my IP address. It's just for practicing purpose. Real time probably you may have, you may need to go with, but now it's not really required. So this is my new IP address created. Copy. See here. So I don't see any similarity even in here. Says 20.124.84. The number story different. So that is the how it will keep on changing your IP address when you start and stop if you do not reserve it. But if you want to reserve it, while stopping the things, it asks, do you want to reserve the public IP address? If you enable this and click on OK, it will reserve for you. But again, the payment, what you need to do is little bit be more because it's trying to reserve this IP address exclusively for your Windows virtual machine here. So which I don't want to.
Permanently, it will reserve for this particular VM or
exactly. No, permanently until you delete your VM. Until you delete your VM.
Okay, fine.
So this is restart, stop, and delete. I'll talk about capture as well, guys, later on. So this is different story. We'll talk about the later. But let me connect first. So connect RDP, download RDP file. So this is the one of the way. After downloading it, you can click on open. So this is the one of the way you can go and connect the page in here. For the same thing, cancel it, go back overview, copy your public IP address, type in RDP in the search bar at the bottom, click on open, paste your IP address in here, the same IP address what I have, pasting it here, click on connect. It again reaches to my same page in here. So directly ask me the user ID and password. The user and password in here. So either of the way, both are allowed. You can go either of the way. You can either go click on connect, download RDP file, download your RDP file and connecting to that. Similar, that's again the other way is like just choosing your RDP at the bottom and provide your IP address and click on OK. Finally, you'll reach to the same page, user ID and password. So I'm trying to go in now. While creating my virtual machine, I provided my credentials like VRIT admin as my user ID, my password capital VRIT admin @ 1 2 3 4 and 5. Click on OK. Now it goes and connect to my new brand laptop, which is in cloud level. See, this is my laptop, which is in cloud. So which is exactly similar to your local laptop, what you have in here, right? So I don't see any difference. This is my local laptop where I can go, I can see my C drive, D drive, I can choose my, I can go to my Google, whatever I want, you can do it. The exact same thing you can do using this particular, the Windows virtual machine, which is sitting in the cloud in here. So just accept the things. This is a brand new desktop for me. You click on yes. So now this is a Chrome you have. I mean, it's not a Chrome, it's a Microsoft Edge you have. If you want, you can download a Chrome as well. So click on your Chrome. It will open up your page in here. Okay, sign in to sync data. Start without your data. Let me close all these things now. Let me open up one more time. Now you can type in something, Google. Go to the Google search. What do you want to do? Or if you want, see, yes, I want to switch to Google. You can download your Chrome and install it. So whatever you want, you can go and do it. So this is exactly similar to your, the local laptop, what you're trying to do. But here you're trying to do within your Windows virtual machine. This is your cloud. This is your cloud, what you're trying to see in here. When you minimize this one, this is your local system, what you see in here. So this is my icon at the bottom. This is the cloud, what you have in here. So go ahead and do whatever you want in here. So you can toggle this one as well. This is like, it's pinged. When you click on this one, this will move up. It's been, when you unping this one, you move up in here. So go to Google and I want to see my YouTube. Open it. So this is, they'll try to show you all other different things which is not locally. So this is, this is coming from your cloud, one Windows virtual machine here. So if you minimize this one, if you go back in here, and this is my local YouTube. So I can see my local language, all those things in here. So I can see my things coming up. There's all the local languages you have in my own things. But in here, this is different, and my local thing is different. So that's how you can do it, guys. So now I would like to connect to my portal. Just go ahead and connect to your portal in here. Let me go and say Google one more time. Let me bookmark this page. Yeah, Azure portal login. So sign in. If you're new to here, start free, or even you can sign in here. So sign in, provide your user ID and password, and you can do whatever you want in here. So this is how you will try to even connect your client machines. This is your, based upon, see, you can, similar to this, you'll be having your connecting your VDIs, your client connecting your VDIs in here. And from you, when you try to connect up to my VDI, within your VDI, you have to connect your Microsoft accounts. That means, it's you're trying to connect your client account, client subscription to do the work on behalf of him in here. So that is how you can go and you create your Windows virtual machine and you connect it, and whatever you want, you can do it over there. So for you to respect your client part, or how do you want to have, or what the work you want to do for your client in here. So we will never do locally as we did in here, as we're doing in here. So this is the account I'm trying to connect using my local laptop. Generally, we should not do that. Connect to my RDP first, or whatever the things you're trying to go connect to using my Windows virtual machine. And within my Windows version, you have to connect to your client system, because this IP address, what you see here, will be tracked by a client. Whatever you download, whatever you do in here, everything will be tracked by a client. If they found anything illegal or inappropriate, your account will be suspended. That's how it goes, guys, in here. Okay. So I hope this is all about the networking. You have all those things. Yeah.
Shyam,
Yeah.
is there any way you can auto schedule the VM start and stop?
Auto scheduling, generally
Scheduling,
we will not stop first thing. So we will not stop your any virtual machines first of all in your real-time perspective. Of course, VDIs, the things which has been allocated for you, you can close it, or you can simply log out of things in here. So it's not like auto stop or auto login in here, because we never know when you try to log in here, right? So today you may log in at 1 o'clock, tomorrow you may log in at 1:30. It's not like auto log on log off in here. But Linux system, which is helping to deploy your application like a YouTube, all those things, that it will be never stopped. So it's even not for schedule. Never, it's we keep on running all the all the day and all the month, all the year. The total never stops over there. So scheduling stuff, it's not available within your Azure level in here. Even though if you want to do such kind of things in here, so such kind of things not available within your Azure level. So here it's only like application deploying and running forever. But if you want, you can stop it. The virtual machine, you can stop it. But generally, we do not do this particular part. The applications are running in here for permanent. If you stop it, that will impact your customers.
Okay.
Shyam, so here we have created admin credentials for VDI, right? So if we have to allocate this machine to someone else, so how we will be doing that? So similar to VDI, so it will be created by someone and it will be assigned on our names, right? So how
So
will we be doing that?
access control. So you can provide your the roles. So what kind of role you want? So I want to provide, as I told you, if you remember, contributor, owner, contributor, reader. So I'll talk about this tomorrow sometime. Okay. So choose a contributor, click on next, choose the members you want to go with. So here I can see only my name in here. How can I add a list of people who want to access this particular virtual machine here? So for that, you have to go with your Active Directory. So tomorrow I'll show, sorry, Monday I'll show you this particular part. How can you add users to my Active Directory? And once you add it there, you can see the list of people coming in here. Just choose them and select it. Automatically, those people will be getting the access. So all these things are admin use,
Okay.
admin level. You don't need to worry about all these things.
Okay, fine.
Okay. Right then, guys. So I want to delete now because I don't want to put my washing machine running until Monday. So this is, this is a resource group will be created by default once you create at least one resource group in here. So now instead of going, within this is a resource group, as if you remember, the same resource group, I can have multiple resources created. So you can create one more virtual machine using the same resource group in here. So instead of creating deleting one after one, going to my resources specifically, deleting one after one in here, what I'll do, I'll go to my resource groups in here and delete my resource group. So once you delete your resource group, automatically what are the resources are being created using my resource group, everything will be deleted one after one. So delete and provide the name. At the bottom you can see delete. So you see your virtual network, your Windows machine at the bottom, your NSG group, iPad, all those things have been created using the same resource group in here. So once you say delete, once you're saying I'm deleting my resource group, everything what has been created using this resource group, everything will be deleted. All of my resources will be deleted successfully in here. So don't try to go with your individual level. Try to go with your resource group and simply delete that. So I don't want to have my default one as well because I'll be charged sometimes. So I want to delete my resources. So I want to keep my list of my resource group clean every time, every day once I complete my practicing part so that I will not be charged. So once you delete this, automatically your virtual machine will be getting deleted. Everything will be getting deleted in here. Okay. So that's how it happens. So probably start doing one after one. Finally, you will not see this particular part as well. This entry will be gone forever because I'm trying to delete my, the total. See, it's shutting down all of a sudden. It's gone. See, all of a sudden. Why? Because I'm trying to delete my virtual machine. Once you're deleting virtual machine, everything will be deleted in here. So it's even this should be gone forever. Finally. So you can see all those current situation what domain within your notification tab in here. So this should be stopped. See, when I click on internal to that, I don't see in here. You're saying that not found. Even here it should go on. In here it should go in here. After some time it may probably go. So it's trying to delete one after one slowly. So after some time you may not see this entry as well, for sure. This will also go for me. Okay. Anyway, so we'll try to delete later. Maybe try to go later, not now. It may take a little bit time to do other things in here. You saw your Windows version shutting down automatically. When I click on my icon in here, I don't see my things coming up for my Windows VM. It's gone. So it's gone here. So similarly, even this particular entry will be also going after some time. Yeah, see, it's gone. Now I don't see any washing machine here because it's trying to delete everything in here. So that's all, guys, for today. So I believe you learned something today with respect to our Windows virtual machine. So how do you feel, guys? Is it interesting?
Yeah, good, Shiv. And
Yeah,
class,
it's
there will
completely.
be no.
Yeah.
What is that, Ravi?
It's a kind of completely switching from different side, right? So kind of interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So anyway, so on Monday we'll try to see creating of your Linux virtual machine. Everything is similar. One or two small changes we have to do to create a Linux machine, and the way of the accessing will be different. So I'll show you all those things in your next classes. So we don't have class tomorrow, guys. This is only weekdays. So first time we started Friday. So I don't want to stop on second day. For that reason being, I took the class on, Saturday. But going forward, we'll be having only 5 days a week. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Then have a great day and happy weekend. We'll meet tomorrow. We'll meet on Monday back in same time again. Thank you, guys. Bye bye.
Thanks, Shyam.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you,
thank
Shyam.
you.
Bye.
Sure.